Ranma One Half tells the story of Ranma Saotome, a martial arts prodigy who falls into a spring in China that curses him. Whenever Ranma is splashed with cold water, he will turn into a girl, and the only way to bring him back into a man is if you splash him with hot water. One day, Ranma's father had an agreement with his friend Shon Tendo that Ranma will marry one of Tendo's 3 daughters. With Ranma and his father returning to Japan after their trip in China, Ranma meets Akane, one of Tendo's daughters, that they push to be Ranma's fiancée. However, they aren't too keen with each other, but that doesn't stop us from seeing their everyday lives. I really enjoyed watching Ranma One Half. It's a hilarious slice of life that's a lot of fun to watch. There's a ton of really fun characters in this show, and a ton of fun situations. For the most part, this is an episodic story, and a basic gist of the summary from what I saw in this first season. Ranma and Akane will be going to school, and then suddenly a guy is really into Akane, so Ranma has to fight that person. And eventually Ranma turns into a girl, and the guy that he's fighting has no idea that female Ranma is male Ranma, so he might find him attractive, and eventually they get into some weird situations, and it's a lot of fun. It's really fun. Ranma and Akane are both pretty cool characters, and I really like their development in this first season. They have some really nice moments between the two, and you can definitely tell that they both care for each other. They just don't know how to express it the way that most people would. I really enjoyed the banter that these two characters have, and overall I just think they're two really cool characters. I like them a lot. There's a ton of good characters in Ranma One Half, but there is one I do want to talk about, and that's Ryoga. He's sort of the rival character to Ranma, but he sticks around for quite a while. He's a pretty reoccurring character, and he's a complete dumbass. He has a horrible sense of direction, but I find him really funny, and I like the rivalry between him and Ranma, and the reason why that they are rivals is pretty funny. I won't spoil it, but you really should check it out because it's hilarious. He is also cursed. He went to the spring where Ranma and his father got cursed, and whenever he is splashed with cold water, he will turn into a pig, a little pig named Pichan. And it's really hilarious when that happens because Akane is like, oh, this is a cute little pig, but Ranma's like, no, that's my my rival Ryoga, so we should fight each other. And it's pretty funny. I like that interaction a lot. This anime was animated by Studio Mappa, and when they're not going around fucking their own employees up by not paying them a fair wage, they do know how to make a good looking anime, and this looks really good. I love all the character designs. Rumiko Takahashi just has a really cool character design, and I think it translates well to today's standards of animation. It all looks really nice. The animation itself is also really smooth. A lot of the fighting looks really cool. And overall, this is just a really good looking anime. The backgrounds are nice. I just really like it. Sound-wise, I thought this was pretty good for the most part. I enjoyed most of the music, but I didn't really like the opening or the ending. They're just not my cup of tea. I much prefer the older Ranma openings compared to the new one. It's not terrible, it's not what I'm into. And I watched this show in its dub for the first 2 episodes, but then I switched to the Japanese to see what that sounded like, and I liked that more. Not saying that the dub is bad, because it's not. It has a lot of really good talent in there, but I just prefer the way this anime sounded in Japanese. It's just my preference, I suppose. If there's anything that I didn't like about this show, it would probably be some of the arcs weren't as entertaining as others. Not necessarily bad, but just kind of were boring. In my opinion, I was not a fan of the ice skating arc that they had. It was okay, but didn't really like the antagonist that much. Also, I wasn't a huge fan of how this anime ended. It's not terrible, but there really isn't any conclusion, so I was just kind of left in the dark being like, is that it? And I know there's a season 2 that has been announced and I believe is coming out this year. But I wish that they would have had some kind of closure just in case if for whatever reason we don't get a season 2, because that is possible. But regardless though, I still had a good time with Ranma 1/2. And if you're a huge fan of the original Ranma 1/2 anime and manga, you'll probably really like the remake. Now for me, I've only seen the first 26, 27 episodes of Ranma 1/2, the original anime, so I haven't seen it all the way through, but this remake definitely made me want to go check the rest of it out. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, we'll have to see. Anyways guys, that's going to be it for me. Hope you really enjoyed this video, and let me know down below what you thought of Ranma 1/2. I would love to know, and I will see you next time. Big thanks to Hanks Retro, Nasty Canasty, Nightcaps and Nostalgia, Ash the Man, Miasma Senpai, and Warp Baits for supporting me on Patreon. You guys are awesome.